Welcome to the True to Success podcast, a space created to help you slow down, reset your mind, and realign your life from the inside out. This podcast is about real growth, not pressure, not perfection, but clarity, responsibility, and personal power. Here we talk about identity and purpose, letting go of what you can't control, building emotional awareness, strength through humility, and learning how to move forward without losing yourself. True to Success is coaching, not preaching, conversation, not performance. Each episode is designed to help you breathe, reflect, and take ownership of your next step, one honest moment at a time. This podcast is led by Dave Shelton, motivational speaker, life coach, and founder of True to My Soul Enterprises. Dave's work focuses on emotional regulation, personal responsibility, inner alignment, and helping people build lives that feel grounded, intentional, and true to who they are. To learn more, explore additional reflections, and continue the work beyond the podcast, visit www.truetomysoul.com. That's TRU2MYSOUL.com. That's truetomysoul.com. Now settle in, take a breath, and welcome to the True to Success podcast with Dave Shelton.
Yo, family, what's good today? So here today, we're talking about one of my favorite subjects. As a matter of fact, if you've been a long time supporter of the True to Success podcast with Coach Dave, I want you to know that generally this is what we kind of lean to when I want to really get deep about some things. And that is having clarity and boundaries. And they go together. Boundaries. So boundaries is what we're talking about today. And let me say this. It's going to be a very tight scenario because when you start talking about boundaries, sometimes people will be like, yeah, I got great boundaries. Great. And I'm not always talking about in the places that you have the great boundaries. Right. I'm talking about the places you don't have them. So today, let's take a deep dive into boundaries. So, yo, what's good, fam? It's Coach Dave here, and I'm here to help you get your mind right and your soul inspired. This is your time, your place, your space to breathe, reset, and step into your power. Now, before we talk about boundaries, I really want us to kind of stretch out just a little bit in our minds and understand that we have a word of the day, and the word of the day is back because the word of the day is clear. C-L-E-A-R, clear. Because boundaries don't work when you're emotional, but they do work when you're clear. I love doing that. I love sitting back in my chair and then looking at you, look at me, and look at you. Yeah, I love that. So I used to think that boundaries was about pushing people away. At least that's what I was taught when I was a kid, right? That if you say no, you're being selfish. Or if you speak up, you're being difficult. Or if you're protecting your peace, now you acting different, yo. What you acting different for? And I believed that for a very, very long time. So instead of setting boundaries, I stayed quiet. And then one day, I wasn't quiet no more because that's usually how I go. I don't remember the year, but I do remember the situation. I remember my mom and my older sister, and I happened to be about 13 years old. My dad was in the hospital for a very long period of time. And it was just like, I kept hearing things of, you don't do this and you lazy, you this and you that, and just, you don't do this and you don't do this and you don't, just like, you need to do this. And I wanted to say, hey, could y'all, okay, I get it. And then I remember it exploding under pressure. That's what it tends to do. When you don't keep good, healthy boundaries, one day you're not going to be quiet anymore. I'm just going to throw it out there like that. I wasn't quiet any longer. I was that quiet kid. I grew up that quiet kid. But that particular day, if my mom and my sister were still alive, they would tell you that day we heard from David. We heard from David. Yeah. And I'm not sure how it goes in your household, but that particular day, I used words that I never knew I would ever say. I didn't use those words as a grown person in my mother's life. God knows at 13, I used them. Because when boundaries are crossed, we're not quiet any longer. If we haven't set the boundaries, there's going to be a day we're no longer quiet. I just want to say that. I just want to throw it out in the atmosphere before we really truly get started, because that's generally how it goes. That's generally how it goes. Now, if you got a different scenario, feel free to write it in. right? But I want to make this pretty simple. So a boundary is not like a threat. I'm not threatening you. It's not control. I'm not trying to control you. It's not even punishment. I'm not trying to punish you. But a boundary is just simply saying, this is what I can do. This is what I won't do. A boundary is saying, this is what I need to do to stay healthy. That's it. There's no great speech that needs to be given. There's no great presentation that needs to be shown. There's no closing arguments, Your Honor. There's none of that stuff. But by the way, if you ever have to yell your boundary, you have waited way too long to say it. If ever your boundary comes out of your mouth and now you're yelling it, told you I don't want to be. I told you I didn't need. I told you. Sounding like Mr. Joe Clark. Mr. Shams. Yeah, if you are yelling your boundary to somebody that you deal with, you've waited way too long to say it. Yeah. But guess what? Like I said earlier, that's generally what happens if you don't set the boundaries. So when you don't set boundaries, there's one or two things that's going to take place. Either you're going to keep saying yes, smiling, looking nice, just cheesing, being all sweet. And then one day you get mad at everybody, or you stay silent for so long that when you finally speak, it come out sideways. And that's not growth. That's pressure. See, for kids, that can be something that can happen as they grow and start to develop. But it's as kids that we don't understand how to place boundaries in certain places, so that when we grow up into adults, we also start not placing boundaries in certain locations so that people can understand where we are coming from. So like I said, that's not growth. That's not healthy. That's not kindness. That's pressure. As a matter of fact, it's like self-abandonment. And it's your fault. Don't get it twisted. That's your fault. Somehow the relationship are now going to suffer because you've allowed these things to go on. So let's make this real. If you're going to talk about unhealthy boundaries and what they sound like, unhealthy boundaries sound like this. You always do this. Or you'll never listen to me. Or if you care, you would know. Or my favorite, my personal favorite, silence, followed by resentment. That's not a boundary. That's frustration. I'm not sure if you know where frustration gets you or where frustration pulls you, but that's not a boundary. Silence is not a boundary. Don't act like it is. And if you're doing it for a boundary, please stop. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. Because one day you're not going to be silent anymore. Once again, I'm Dave Shelton. I'm just here to help you step into your peace. That's all. Because what that does is it pretty much stops you from showing up late to the conversation. It can be very dangerous. So what healthy boundaries sound like? They sound like, hey, I'm not available for that. Or, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Hey, I need time before I respond to that. Or I'm willing to talk, but not like right now. You notice the difference? Because healthy boundaries help you talk about you. They don't attack them. They just help you talk about you. Because being upfront is good when it's clear. When it's clear. Being upfront is not good when it's cruel. So there's a difference between honesty and unloading. See, I used to think that being honest meant explaining myself real good, just being up on my Dr. King speech type thing, like real good, like telling you all, showing you all my receipts. I can't do it because I got all this going on. And I can't do it because, you got these explanations over here and I got to give character references. Didn't I say I couldn't do it because I was over here doing this? That's not a boundary when I got to explain everything. That's a TED Talk. Why am I TED talking with you? A very calm no is a complete sentence. But here's the part that most people don't like. If a boundary ends a relationship, I want you to know it was already unhealthy. Healthy people may not like your boundary, but they will respect it. But unhealthy people, they don't get upset because you're wrong. They get upset because their access has changed. And that should tell you everything you needed to know about that relationship. So here's something simple I want us to practice throughout the week. Before you respond to something, before you say anything, before you blow up, ask yourself, am I saying yes out of fear? Am I staying quiet to keep the peace? Or am I responding from clarity? Please choose clarity because boundaries don't need drama. They just need consistency. That's it. This was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. And sometimes I still make unhealthy boundaries. But setting boundaries didn't make my life harder. It made it quieter. It made it clear, more honest. It also helped people who stayed. I knew they respected me. But people who left, they just already told me who they were. And my mom always said to me, when somebody tell you who they are, believe them. Just believe them. So let's close this together here, all right? Echo me, if you will. I am allowed to set boundaries. Say it one more time. I am allowed to set boundaries. It's going to protect your peace, all right? When you show up, you don't have to worry about anybody else. You can still be firm. Last time, I am allowed to set boundaries. Beloved, you don't have to always blow up. You can actually be grounded. You can slow it down. Because boundaries aren't walls. Boundaries are clarity. Boundary makes things much, much more clear. So sometimes when you need to use that sentence, no, use it. No, seriously, use it. I'm going to give it to you. Here, okay, here's no. And it's yours. All right. One for you too. Sorry. No, here you go. Anybody else need any no's? Just reach out, hit us up, truetomysoul.com. Or truetomysoul.com. You can go to our website, truetomysoul.com. If you need any no's, if you need me to write you a no excuse, hit me up. If you don't know how to say no, just write up Coach Dave. Hey, Coach Dave, can you write me a no excuse today? And what I'll write is a no, and then I'll pass it to you. info@truetomysoul.com, or you can reach our website at truetomysoul.com. Please go to the website. Let me tell you, the person who did this website is an amazing individual. And it wasn't me. I promise it wasn't. But she's my life partner. I love her so much. So listen, you don't need to blow up. You just need to be clear. You don't need to suffer about things where you can't be clear about certain things today and can be clear about certain things tomorrow. Even if it was your mama. I'm sorry, mama. I love you. But please, no. I'm sorry, Dad. I love you, but no. I'm sorry, daughter. I love you, but no. I'm sorry, son. I love you, but no. I'm sorry, significant other. No. And you don't have to give a whole gigantic speech of why. I don't want to do that. But thank you. Set healthy boundaries. Learn how to set healthy boundaries now. And you develop some of the best relationships built upon boundaries. And with that, I say unto you, namaste.
As we close today's session, I want you to remember this. Growth doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments like this, when you slow down, reflect, and choose yourself with intention. If today's episode gave you clarity, perspective, or something to sit with, I invite you to continue the work with us. Visit www.truetomysoul.com. That's truetomysoul.com, where you'll find deeper reflections, tools, and resources designed to support your growth beyond the podcast. If you have questions, thoughts, or want to connect directly, you can email us at info@truetomysoul.com. And if this space has been helpful to you, make sure to subscribe to the True to Success podcast so you don't miss future sessions. Each episode is designed to meet you right where you are, with honest conversation, grounded coaching, and reminders that you're not behind, you're becoming. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, stay grounded, stay honest, and keep doing the quiet work that leads to real success. We'll see you soon on the True to Success podcast with Dave Shelton.